Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. We are back, baby. Come
We're
on.
back.
Welcome to an episode of Late Night Leeds. Come on, how cool does that look? Adam, tell Adam's back, can't you? You can tell Adam's back. It's got up a level, Spielberg-esque. It's got up a level.
Spielberg, yeah, Jurassic Park, yeah, dinosaurs next.
How are you doing, Shawnee boy?
Me, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm very relaxed. I'm calm. Looking forward to the season starting. Feels like it's been ages, done it since his last game. Feel like we've been off for months and months and months, but yeah, really excited now and looking forward to the first fixture.
Yeah, 100%. Go on, Adam. Let's hear from you, mate. You've been sunning it in America. You've been playing your cricket. Back to football now, mate.
I didn't break my back, but you know what I mean. I'll actually play my first game of cricket tomorrow. Actually, I haven't played one game this summer. It's been 8 weeks so far. I've been injured, but yeah, I'm back. Hello, Danny. So yeah, I'll probably be injured again tomorrow. Maybe same injury, maybe a new one. But yeah, I'm excited back. It was nice to have some time away from Leeds. Like so much pressure going up, all that stuff. But now, like transfers are starting to happen. Pre-season fixtures are out. It's all getting fun again.
Yeah, getting excited, aren't you now, mate? Now it's stepped up a level. Now we're making signings. Now we're linked to people that may not be crappy loose links that we've been used to for the last 4 or 5 weeks. It has been a really treacherous, like a month or so on it. You know, it feels like we've been promoted about 6 years now. It's dragging on. Let's see the lads in the training gear jogging around the pitch, getting put through the paces from Farker, and then yeah, let's see some movement. Let's see the shirt. Shall we have a look at the shirt, everyone? Yeah. Oof. Danny Boyle will be loving it because he's seen it about half an hour ago. But so yeah, this is from all everything we've sort of heard. This looks like this is the actual shirt. So I found out from a friend. I can't go into details. I got sent the image earlier, didn't we, boys, in the group chat, and they were like, "You can't share this" and all that. So all I was going to show was this earlier, just the collar and the sleeve. So the whole, print across the chest that a lot of people weren't into. Looks like it's just been the detail on the sleeve and the collar. And this is a full image that sort of got broke on Facebook and other sites in the last hour. But I do believe, lads, that this is the one. What are your thoughts after all the wild takes we've seen? And, we've seen quite a lot of awful kits sort of in the ether. If this is the kit, are you happy with it, boys?
I'm prefer it than the other one that we're going around with it all across the front. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. If it's going to be the one, that's the one. Listen, it's a white shirt in it. I'm more excited about seeing the away shirts and seeing them come out. But yeah, I'm happy with it, and I'll probably will end up purchasing it.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. It's that one with the print across the front. That must have been an iteration they've tried at some stage and have actually made. I presume.
Why? Because it's so random that you just think it must have been trial.
They've also gone looking, gone, oh, I don't know, that's a bit too much. It's so. I mean, other than the bit of the collar and sleeve, it's exactly the same as last season, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, just about. Yeah,
we'll take. Yeah. I mean, there might have been a little bit in the background of the peacocks and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's all right, isn't it? You can't, to be honest, staying true to a white shirt, you can't do much with it, really, can you? Hello, Mike.
No,
that's it.
Really. You can't. I mean, to be fair, it's. I don't tend to buy the home kit anyway. I mean, big guys like me don't look cracking in white. I've got my camera angled at a very good position that you can't see much other than my shoulders, to be fair. But I very rarely tend to buy the home kit. I can't be trusted when I'm eating, so that's from the wife. That comes from the top. So I always buy the darker kits. So yeah, hopefully I'm hoping the away one is what we're all sort of hoping for, is that twist on the old Strongbow blue away kit from the Viduka days, which if it is, I will be running to the shop. I will be sweating my own sweat to get to that shirt. But yeah, the home one, I think because the detail that we saw across the chest on the one we all kind of thought over the last few weeks, it might be that one. I think this, and I'm happy with it because it ain't that, but I don't mind having something a little bit out there. I just think it's not changed very much from the one that's hanging behind me from last season. So yeah, the detail, it's a nice touch with the whole tiling of the tunnel. I like that. I like keeping it sort of in the Leeds feel like that. But yeah, for me, it's a bit plain. It's a bit dull. It is what it is, and it's a white shirt.
Can I just say?
Of course, you can say whatever you want.
Robbo's point there. You've obviously never played cricket. I break at least 2 bones every single season playing cricket. It's either a finger, I've broken ribs. I've had a massive hole in my face where I've just worn one in the face. I break something every single year. And by the way, I'm accident prone, but yeah, I get injured a lot for cricket.
Nah, mate.
Just going back to the shirts, do you think they'll put prices up?
Probably.
What were they last year? How much was it last year?
65.
65.
Yeah,
65.
Dear, isn't it? It's dear. It's so dear. I mean, you can't go much higher than that, surely. You start taking a piss, don't you? Maybe they probably already are.
Premier League prices, isn't it?
It's Fanatics as well, though, isn't it? Now that Fanatics, it's going to be interesting to see how the whole vibe is as well in the shop. In terms of, I've heard that, I don't know how true it is. I've heard just rumours like, but that they ain't too good with staff and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what the gear's like, because I think they've nailed it recently. In the last few years, I think the gear's gone up, tenfold. I think some of the fashionable stuff in the shop's been class. I know that they've had a few Americanized sort of gear in there recently, which hasn't been to my taste, but be interested to see what it opens like. I think it's another week or so, and both shops will open. Yeah, I can't wait for it. Can't wait to get in there and have a look.
That's all new, isn't it? That's completely new from now. All that stuff, because the leisure wear and all that stuff. They've had some really good stuff, like hats, all sorts. They've had some really good stuff in the shop, I think, recently. Like last couple of years, since 49's been involved, it's got much better, I think. So I'd be interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah,
100%. Where do you want to start, guys? Before we dive into the players and stuff, do you want to have a look at the fixtures, or do you want to talk about the pre-season?
Pre-season.
I'd like to touch on that. To be fair, get your thoughts on what come out today. Adam sort of knew it would break. Honestly, we can't reveal your source, obviously, but I hate it, Adam, when you give us a little nugget. Don't get me wrong, it was not groundbreaking. But when you tell us something and go, oh, by the way, you can't say it's your fault. And then I'm just like, oh, sound. But
because I'm talking to you. I'm telling a group about 12 people. The one person I know is going to be straight onto someone else is you every single time.
Oh, God, honestly. But yeah, we didn't have to wait too long, did we? He told us about 1:30 there was something going on at 2. Like I say, it weren't massive news, but there's a proportionate fan base that will be very disappointed. I'll be honest with you, lads, just off the bat, I didn't expect any more sort of pre-season fixtures with... we've obviously playing Milan in Dublin, we're playing Scum in Stockholm, and then obviously I think Guiseley, we've got Villarreal. I didn't expect anything else, so I aren't disappointed in that stance. But the fact that we're playing games that, as a fan, we can't even view with the whole, it's irritating. Germany again, Farker, whoever it is. Go on, lads, take it away. It's
I'll let Sean go because Sean's more annoyed than anyone.
He's really annoyed.
I was. No, like you said, I wasn't expecting. I didn't even know they were doing a pre-season tour in Germany. I don't know. Obviously, we did that last year. I said to you guys earlier, we're over in Sweden. Why don't we do it in Sweden? If we're going to do, wanted a few more games. I can only see there being a couple more games in Germany. Then I don't see the point of it. Listen, apparently we're all tied down. We're going to be able to have fans over this time, and then boom, they drop the bomb, don't they? And like you said, Adam, they've brought it out last minute, so there's not going to be much we can do about it. I think it's the authorities. I don't think it's against Leeds United fans. I think it's probably against English fans, if anything. It don't make sense, and the fact that they can't stream it, it makes it worse. I wouldn't have gone over, but I'd love to have, watched it somewhere. Like we've just said before. they could have even charged a little bit of money there and made a bit of money off it. I'm sure a lot of us would have paid to watch the friendlies. We want to see as football team play. Like we just said, feel like we haven't had a game for ages. We feel like we've been away from it for so long. I don't know why we're doing it again. We should be going to a different country for me this time round. So whose decision that is? Probably Farker's.
Well, it is Farker, isn't it?
Come on, Adam, take it away.
It's definitely Farker. Like, they've gone there last year and they've been fucked over once. So they thought, I know what we'll do, give it another go. Let's just go. But because they don't deem it as being fucked, so they're quite happy. Farker wants to go Germany. And, this written confirmation book, like I think there's a level of incompetence in the club in terms of if it is the fuck up they say it is, or it's what it is. Fark went over and they don't really care. They might get this wrong written confirmation, but they're like, well, you just wouldn't go back. If you've been stuffed over once, you wouldn't go back. But they've done it again, so that's on them. No matter what they say, it's not good enough. And they've known about it for a long time. They brought out the Milan, the scum fixture, and now they've got thrown this in last minute, and they knew exactly what they're doing.
I don't think there'll be many games. Do you reckon there'll be more than one game?
Yeah, I think. What did they play last time? So they played 2. Was last time?
2 last time.
There'll be two definitely.
There'll be 2 fixtures. Yeah, there'll be 2 fixtures. Maybe a first team and sort of second team. They'll take quite a big squad over with them.
Don't the Premier League starts later than the Championship though, don't it as well?
Yeah,
So probably that's why as well we're having these extra friendlies. So
did they say the dates on when they announced it? Did they say what dates are going over?
I mean, it'd probably be in the app now because I know Scum's first, Milan's the last, isn't it? Fixtures wise. It's not on there. Oh, you can't see that. No, that doesn't help. Yeah. I mean, playing.
I don't think there were any dates. No.
9th of July is Sweden. 2nd of August, Villarreal. 9th of August, Milan. So it's in between that, isn't it? We're there for a couple of weeks. I think we're there for 9 days. So there's definitely be a couple. Of
I suppose if I'd have looked into that more, I'd have probably expected something, to be honest, because it is a bit of a gap there, isn't there? You know what I mean? But I just thought, I sort of looked at the pre-season games, thought, there's 4 games there. That's probably it. But yeah, there's a decent chunk of time there for them.
You think we just play some local sides when you train at 4 parts? Just what it's there for. Play some local sides, play a few, whatever. But yeah, they want to go to Germany for whatever reason. So there you go.
Imagine if they play Bayern Munich or Dortmund or something like that. It's not
I mean, it'll be lost second. Yeah.
It was Schalke last year, wasn't it? It was Schalke last year. Schalke and...
It's really frustrating, though. Really frustrating. Now, like we'll get 3 friendlies to be able to see, 2 we won't be able to see. It's just frustrating, but, well, there you go.
True. This is John. Sunderland have made a €33 million bid for Diarra.
Yeah.
Well, that's Alan Nixon saying that, isn't he? But but that's with add-ons. It might be like 18 guaranteed, 6 if they stay up. So 33 is fine as an idea, but it may be that they look at the number and go, well, actually, we're not going to get hardly any of that. I used to do it on Football Manager. You bid for someone for 20 million, you put another 20 million on top if they get 100 caps or whatever you do, or 50 international goals. So it never comes through, does it? So it might be one of those anyway. Sunderland, by the way, the fact that Sunderland are in for him, I thought he was waiting on the bigger teams. The fact Sunderland bidding for him, obviously, if Sunderland think they've got a chance, which is a good thing for us, because he's going to favour us over Sunderland. So, and I say I can't see him bidding like 30 plus 3, like 30 guaranteed. I just can't see him doing it. They wouldn't. So I think it gives us a better chance of getting him.
Yeah, that's fair. Like you say, what's chances someone like Leeds, Sunderland, and others like that maybe bidding for him if it would definitely no chance of us getting him. So like you say, it probably opens door for the possibility of him coming to Leeds. And I think when you look at those 3, obviously promoted sides, the likelihood is, all 3 go back down. The chances are one of us can maybe stay up, maybe 2, who knows. But I'd say out of the 3, Sunderland are probably nailed on to be going down out there, let's be fair, if not bottom. I think they've got the most work to do. I think I look at them and Burnley. I think Burnley had a strong defence last season, albeit it's getting torn apart a little bit. It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? It's a bit of a mad one, isn't it, Adam? When you look at going up, you go up and you think, right, where have we got strengthened? The 2 we've come up with are having to buy just to get to the level they were probably at when they came up. Then they've got to go again to push on to improve on that. It's a big ask anyway, without having 2, 3 key players to replace before you build.
Well, the thing is, Burnley have already had to buy 3 or 4 for 40 odd million because they had all the obligations if they went up. So they've spent a lot of money already. I think I can nail on now. Burnley will finish 20th. I think Sunderland will finish above Burnley. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that, Sean?
Sunderland are a really young team as well, aren't they? Still, they're going to need a lot more. I think they're going to need a lot more experience than we actually do need in our squad. They need to really buy sensible to Sunderland, and they're always going to be linked to players we're linked with because the team coming up with us out there. So it's probably similar to Burnley. And I think, like you just said there, Burnley's missed a trick there, haven't they? They've obviously been committed signing 3 or 4 players already. That's a big, chunk out of their budget gone.
100%.
I like where we're at the minute. And listen, I think it could all just be talk. It could be talk just to make us maybe push a bit further for him. Who knows? Who knows? I've read that many links at the minute. I read one link the other day, and then I read an article the other day, and then I read another article dismissing it. You just don't know what to believe. You really don't know what to believe. So,
if you believe Tommy K, mate, all 3 are going straight back down.
Who's Tommy K?
Tommy
I ain't got a clue.
I don't like this Tommy K guy.
We normally know everybody in here.
We
All
do.
3.
Yeah, anybody's welcome. But
You're not welcome here, Tommy
Welcome,
K.
Tommy.
Get out.
But no, like you say, the title of the video as well, mate. We were talking today, weren't we, looking at sort of like a main topic to sort of discuss. And I think Leeds, like you say, Sean, I think we're doing it the right way. I think we're sort of shooting for the stars a little bit, aren't we, lads? And, if we slightly, just miss that, we're still going to be doing pretty well. So I think the players and caliber people we're sort of looking at, even the loose links, everyone we've sort of looked at have all been quite exciting. You've said as well, Adam, it's been hard to get too excited about some of the links, granted, but as the weeks have passed and we've obviously signed Bijou, we signed Metcha, you're liking the look of where we're going as a club, aren't you? And there's definitely ambition there, which for me has raised my expectations, like the title says. And, as we've always said, we'd bite your hand off a 17th just to stay up at them, then build year after year. I think there is an expectation now within the fan base after seeing the first couple of signings and the players we're linked with. I think we can push on for more than that, boys. I think it's rising as the expectation. I don't see many fans saying, we're going to struggle. I feel like I've seen more fans now saying we're going to push in top 10, which I think is wild. Or maybe I'm just looking at Sean Healy a little bit on that one. But I think the calibre of play we're looking at, it looks like the club are really, really aiming high, and I expect us to do okay this season, boys.
It's so hard. There's so much in the setup. Like you've obviously got. It's a new light. I think I've turned the light slightly to reflect on something. Perfect. You've got to. You also got to buy the tools. You've got to get the players in for the manager. The manager then sets it up, obviously in a way. I keep saying we've got to be more pragmatic. Bijou's a great start, I think. He's a great box defender. He's a big lump. And, he's a bit like Struck in terms of big lump. He's good in the air. But actually what he is really aggressive in the air. Like, I think he's in top something ridiculous percentile in Europe for centre-backs winning headers. And I don't think he's huge. I think he's about 6'3". I don't think he's like 6'5". But he's just really aggressive and obviously really strong. A bit like Alan Shearer. John Terry wasn't a massive centre-back, but he won nearly every header he went for because he actually positioning is really clever and his body shape's really clever, or body positioning. So maybe not body shape. I think we started really well. I think we're definitely aiming really high. Diarra's an interesting one. I think Diarra scored. By the way, I don't think Diarra's coming for one of the 2 D. I think we'll still play 2 DMs, and I think Diarra's coming to play ahead of them. That's what I think if he comes in. I think he's going to be a sort of more of an 8. I don't think we'll play with a 10 this year. I'll be shocked if we played with a 10 personally, because I think Diarra scores goals. He scores the odd goals, and he does go into the box. He does get beyond the striker, so he can.
We saw against England, mate. He likes that running behind, doesn't he?
There's no way for me that is one of our DMs for Fark. You see a DM. Rothwell was our forward finger DM. He never got ahead of the ball. Our 2 centre midfielders never get ahead of the ball. Now people go, "Oh yeah, but that's because the fullbacks bomb on." Well, it's no good. Like, okay, we'll sit one of the fullbacks on, and then the DM will bomb on. That's not going to happen. So the fullbacks will be a bit more circumspect, definitely. But I think we'll have 2 DMs and DR. That's why Sadiq is an interesting one as the alternative, because Sadiq can do the DM role. I think.
Yeah, he can.
Whereas Diarra can do it, but I say he wants to get forward. I think if you're restricting too much, like for example, much like I can't see us buying an out 10. I can't see it when I can't see it. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think can you see us buying a 10? A proper 10?
I can. Diarra, obviously box to box midfielder, ball progressing midfielder, can play in the 10, but he's mainly a number 8.
He's an 8.
Fits into the 3 system in midfield, which I like.
Yeah.
It's the flexibility of Diarra that I like, but I think we we do go get another number 10. Otherwise, again, we're going to say we're just going to have Brendan Aronson, aren't we?
I've got a feeling they're going to play Aronson in a different role next season. I think he's going to be a bench option potentially off of that left. You know, I've got a feeling. I've just got a feeling.
What's making you say that? I don't know.
I just feel like we've moved away from. I mean, it's still plenty of time. In my opinion, the links for the wingers have sort of gone down. If we're not in for Solomon, and looking at it, I think we'll get a 10. I think it'll come to a price point though, Adam. I do. I think if we've looked at Wendy, we've looked at him, we've looked at a few players in that role. I think if the price is right, I think we'll bring someone in just in case Farker does stick with that 4-2-3-1. I do believe he's going to definitely utilise certain games, Adam, when he don't play over 10 and he packs that midfield out. I think I can definitely see that happening. I can even see him going with like a 3 at the back with wing backs and dropping a 10 anyway. That wouldn't surprise me. I'd like it too. It's all whether he does change it. He doesn't tend to change, but I think he's going to have to at certain times, in Premier League. But I've just got a feeling if we bring a 10 in, maybe he doesn't bring another winger in. And you've got Ramazani, you've got Aronson, you've got Nonto, you've got James. I'm not going to say the Jack Harrison one because he will be going, in my opinion. But you've got 3 wingers there plus Aronson. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10 come in, lads. Get all the other positions we need and want. And maybe the wingers are last in the look at. And maybe they're bringing a younger player on loan, maybe to fill that role potentially. I don't know.
But that's where I think the 10 doesn't come in because you do have more of a 4-3-3 thing.
Yeah.
Because then you only need Nonto and Ramazani or James either side of a striker. I think I can see. By the way, and I think Nemecha. I think Nemecha's maybe an option in the front 3 as well, either side potentially. I think he can do that. Right. He's very mobile. So I don't get me wrong. I think he's more of a sub, but he's an option off the bench and in some games potentially. That's where I think Diarra could have said, because I'm saying about him coming to 10, but I think it might be more of a 4-3-3. I think that might make more sense. And still, because Farker's fullbacks are so important to him. Farker's attack's all about fullbacks and wingers linking up, and I think he won't want to go away from that. So to be more pragmatic, where's it come from? It comes from the 10 not being a 10 and being more defensive. So if the 10 falls in, your fullbacks can still. I don't think they'll be in the box trying to get headers from crosses the other side necessarily. But I think he'll want his fullbacks to still go forward. Is it? What's his name? What's the name? Is it Good? What's the left back's name? Goodmanson. So yeah, I mean we are in for him as well. He's very attack minded. He's much better going forward than he is defensively. So again, that points maybe a 3 at the back, or maybe a 3 in midfield. 3 at the back, so your fullback becomes a wing back, goes forward, or a 3 in midfield, so the fullback can still go forward. So all the attacking, because Bogle's still going to want to get forward, and Monson's the same. So I think we might like, because Farke's not going to want to go too far away. And I say the most Farke thing, every attack is about the wingers and the fullbacks linking up. That's every attack, how we do it. So I can see that. And then Diarra arriving late in the box still with a bit more license than the other 2 centre midfielders. That's how I can see it working. But all remains to be seen. Depends who we buy, of course, as well. Depends what fullbacks we can get. It's all got to work. But I think they're building towards. That's what I think they're building towards. A 3 at the back or 3 in midfield. I think that's the option.
I hope so. Sean, you'll absolutely wet yourself if he plays a 3 at back, mate. You'll love it, won't you?
3 at the back, I'd love that. And it's interesting. Yeah, I've just seen Boston. I apologise for the lighting, boys. I'm trying to sort that out now.
Come on, Priestley. Come on, Priestley.
He doesn't even watch us, does he, Priestley? He doesn't even watch us. Shocking.
Larry.
Go on,
yeah, and it's interesting we've signed Bijol, who, Udinese played for Udinese in the back 3. 80% of their games they played as a 3. So that were interesting that we signed him, and I would be comfortable with the back 3. But touching on the 3 in midfield as well, Tanaka can play that 8 role as well. I wouldn't be against us having Gruev, Ampadu, and Tanaka as a 3 in midfield if we needed to. I think though, going back to the 3, what would you call it? A 5-3-2? Then would you say it wouldn't be a 3-5-2, would it? Be 5-3-2 with wing backs.
I'd probably more call it potentially a 3-4-3, potentially.
3-4-3, yeah.
With 2 wingers still.
Yeah. I think it'll change depending on games. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. I hope he's got that flexibility now. He's got the players who can play that formation, and I hope Daniel Farke is flexible in his tactics, depending on the opponent. So we will see. And I think this is why we watch the friendlies. The friendlies are going to be a bit should be telltale of how we're going to line up.
I think Farke will have to be changeable and a bit flexible with tactics. I say, but what he won't go away from is as I said about 5 times this stream already, is the fullbacks and the wingers and them linking up. That's all he's ever known. That's all he's ever done. He needs his fullbacks to get forward. And it killed him at Norwich because he still wants to play attacking football. Then he cracked up and went, we must go massively defensively, and defensively got sacked. But I think that's so important to him. So I think he's going to have to find a way to make that work. Bijol's really good at his box defending, clearing his lines, headers, knocking it forward, blah, blah, blah. Well, really good basic centre-back stuff. He's really good at it. So that even means you're sitting back. Because if you're still going to go forward and try and keep the ball, you need to buy another centre-back as quick as Rodon. Because he's going to have to cover. They're going to do a lot of covering of fullbacks, I think. Don't get me too far wrong. I don't think we'll be Firpo in the box or fullback in the box every single time we look up. But I think he'll still look to do that. So I think he'll have to do a free in 1 or 2 positions.
What do you think John means by this? If we can't play 3 at the back of the Premier League, it's a different beast. Is that because we'll have less threat going forward? Is that what he's getting at? I think you've argued that.
You've got to get the right players, because your 2 outside centre backs get pulled wide all the time. And if your fullbacks, if your wing backs bombed on, and you got Mo Salah because a lot of teams' best players are their wingers. So they just hang wide. But certain games, I don't think you can play back 3 every game. So again, Mo Salah, you don't want to play a back 3 really, and unless you're planning on you can even play a back 5 or a back 4. You can't play a back 3. So because when it becomes a back 5, the whole game it stops working. You're just sitting back the whole game. So there's a balance to be struck. Yeah, of course, you got to be flexible.
If you did play a back 3, it would be Strauch in there, wouldn't it, on that left hand side? If you did, I assume.
Yeah.
And imagine Strauch getting pulled wide against Salah. Imagine he'll just stroll past.
Yeah, isolated, wouldn't he? Yeah, 100%.
But that's what Bijol's there for, and Rodon, because obviously they'll be they can drop in, can't they, and clean up and cover that if necessary, and that's what Bijol's good at. If you watch the highlights of him, he's great at sweeping up, the balls over the top or down the channels. He does come across a lot of the time, so it'd be interesting to see. I would definitely not be against it.
If we go,
I think we will see it in some games. That's how I think we will see it.
I think so. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everything I've seen of Farke in the last 2 years tells me that we won't see it in any games. But I've just got a feeling it's not going to be a bit anywhere near, what we've seen in Championship in terms of the same thing over and over again. We spoke in group chat, didn't we? And everyone knows we had the best players. We made sure we got given the 2 brilliant squads to get promotion from Championship. We no longer have the best players in the division. Even if we sign some ballers, which I hope we go on and do, we don't have the best players anymore. We're going to be in that bottom 5, bottom 6 in terms of squad quality, I would imagine. So he's going to have to adapt. There's going to have to be everybody, even down to fan base, the players, coach, everyone's going to have to raise their levels to have a successful season for me. And that includes Farke, that includes his tactics, that includes him adapting as a coach. And he's got to learn from his mistakes. Do you think, Adam, that we will see that adaptation? Do you think we'll see Farke sort of resurrect that career as a Premier League manager, or do you think, and on that now the euphoric moment of getting promoted is gone and we can talk about it? Do you think Farke will be a success, pal? Are you backing him? I know you're backing him, but
I think Farke will have the best squad he's ever had in any league.
I actually agree.
I don't think there's a shadow of doubts about that. The players are looking at, players trying to get the squad level, trying to get 100%. The money we want to spend. Like Muniz is our number 1 target, and I think we might end up spending a lot of money on him. And he's a very good Premier League striker. I think he'll have that. He's not. I mean, he's not shown anything at the top level in the past, but he has done the Championship. But he's been inflexible. He's had the best squad. So it's. I don't know. I hope it works out because Leeds are winning games. I'd also be surprised. I think if he's there after 12 games, he's done very well. Because if they lose a couple, everyone will be on him. Everyone. It's like someone said earlier about the. I think Mike said about it wouldn't be surprised him if Farke had said he doesn't want anyone watching the games in because the police don't go. You can't stream games. You know what's that? It's not a bleeding. You know it's. Well, you can't video camera. You can't film something. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I think last time Farke played a back three was in Germany last year, wasn't it? In the warm up, I wouldn't surprise me. He didn't want any cameras there, so he could try a few things and then not get it thrown at him for every time we lose a game, like happened this. We'll try back three. Loads of people said it. If we lost a couple of games, try back three. Then you tried it in pre-season. Where is it? So it wouldn't surprise me wanting to try a few things with no one watching.
That's actually a fair summary, really. When you think of it like that, it probably goes to show why he's maybe don't want the wires on him because he's trying things that he doesn't want people to know we're trying, potentially.
The German police with no video cameras, you can't stream it. Go, what the fuck's it to do with you, mate? Go away. You know, like, oh, sorry, that's not a legal process. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you film away. Like we've hired this ground to use for facility to play sport. It's up to us. You're telling me they're not filming whatever they want to film while they're there? They're not filming training for analytics. You're telling me that? It's bollocks. It's bollocks.
Adam, do you think we get Diarra, mate? John's asking.
I think I think we're massively in for him. He's our number one target. There's no doubt about that. But I think we do get him. Yeah, I think we do. So the Sunderland thing's giving me more hope because I think if that's the level we're competing against, we've got no problems at all.
I've got this on here from Harvey, who comes in chat quite a bit. He's a good lad, to be fair. As a Sunderland fan, our new sporting director wanted to sign Diarra in 2023. And as he has got here with us, we are trying to secure him. So our interest definitely has some sort of truth in it, which I think it probably has got some truth in it. But you would assume if the money's equal, we'd get him over Sunderland. And that's not me being biased, I don't think. What do you think, boys?
Do you know what? This is the way this works. Obviously, the first thing clubs do is they go talk to the players' representatives. They say, "Are you interested in coming?" And they go, "Yeah, for this sort of money." Go, "Oh, that works." And then you go, "How much do you think the club wants?" They go, "Oh, about this." Then you go and speak to the club. And if you've bid for a player, you must have heard some noises that you think that bid is somewhere near what they may accept. They don't go, "We want 50 million." You go, "Well, we'll give you 21 and make it public." Because what is that? That's not how negotiation works. So they must have bid somewhere near what they think they want, his club wants. So and it's gone on and on. And then I think even last Friday, the bid hadn't actually been rejected last Friday. So it was ongoing. So then it's all gone very quiet. I think negotiations continue. And I think if they'd heard any noises, it wasn't going to happen, it wouldn't be continuing. We'd know it was over, and we don't, which means it's continuing in the background. So I think we do get him.
I think it depends on the player as well and where he wants to go, obviously. And if it were a choice between us and Sunderland, I'm not against Sunderland, but I'm sure he'd be picking Leeds United all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've just signed Bijol as well, and we said, didn't we? Obviously, chatting. If we can get these players in, like a Bijol, like a Diarra, it'll attract other players. You know, they'll be like, "Wow, look at what they're doing. They really mean business this season." So for me, I think it's massively on the player. Is he wanting to wait and see if there's a team that comes in who are playing in Europe, Champions League, possibly?
Yeah, I think so.
The thing is with that,
possibly, but who knows?
Leeds would know if Leeds would get an inkling, or they'd hear about other clubs being interested. And as soon as they think, oh, he's going to flirt with them, he's going there, he would just pull the plug. And I say, I think we do hear about it, and that could happen at any moment. Of course, Inter come in or whoever it may be. But the noise and the level he's at, a lot of it's around, he is that player that goes to a Leeds United, a lot of half-prem side, that then he wants to make a step up in 2 years' time. That's the level he's at. And I think actually Leeds is a perfect club for him for that.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. You know what it is, right? You look at YouTube clips and all this of him, but when we watched him against England, I was really, really impressed with him. Watch him sit there. I think he played about 70 minutes, didn't he? He looked phenomenal. You could just imagine him playing alongside Tanaka in that midfield. And like I say, I think you don't like to use the word stepping stone, stepping club, but we've seen it with people like Rafinha, and it's a project you can sell to these players, isn't it, Adam? And I was a little bit concerned before we got Bijol as well, looking at the sort of model of how we'll get players in. We now know, and we've known for a couple of years now, that the model before was sort of advertise that to a player, stepping stone, but also put in the contract that relegation release clause, which we now know we won't be putting in. So I was a little bit apprehensive, thinking maybe we won't get a Bijol now, because that would have been the probably the final piece of the contract. What would have made Bijol come? What would make a Diarra come? What's making them come now, other than Leeds United, Premier League football? Do you get what I mean? Like, we had to offer that before.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, wasn't it? Because they did Altric said they didn't trust their own negotiation skills, so they threw in a clause that no other club's ever done, as far as I'm aware.
No.
Like, if we go down, everyone can leave for nothing.
It's mad, isn't it?
Go, lads. Like, no one else ever done that. That was just also being crap at negotiating. So, but of course, the thing is now you come in, you still get Premier League for a season, and they'll have relegation release clauses, but Bijols will be 25, 30 million. So it'll have a release clause, but we'll get the money if he goes, which works for everyone anyway, because you don't want to take his wage down everything else. So they'll all have release clauses regardless. Diarra might come in and have a £55 million release clause at any stage, but he just might. But that's okay.
Won't be a bloody loan, though.
That's where we're at. And
it won't be a loan.
Every club's a stepping stone. It's not going to be a loan. Yeah, absolutely. Every club's a stepping stone. Brighton sell players. Brentford sell players. Everyone sells players to everyone. There's 5-6 clubs in the world that can buy everyone's players, and whoever they want. And that's the nature of it.
Yeah, that's it. We've got to accept it as it is, and that's what we are at the minute. We're not, until we become, say, top 6. We are. That's what we're going to be, and it's maybe a model that the 49ers want to go down, which I think they do, don't they? The Brighton model.
Bournemouth,
that's isn't it? Because suddenly you get 160 million for 3 defenders rather than loaning 3 of them out. Because also, rather than
madness. When you get it right like that, you get the recruitment right. Look what Bournemouth have done, selling those 3 defenders for. That's how you become an established Premier League side and push on up that league. When, like you say, 3 players sold for. I don't know what the net profit is. I couldn't tell you what they came in for, but I'm assuming that's a massive PSR hit and just profit in the bank there. And ultimately, we always talk about the old Leicester model, the Brighton model, the Bournemouth model. This needs to be something that Leeds adopt. And I think the players we are looking at, 21-year-old Diarra, being captain for Strasbourg, we're looking at players who are experienced in decent leagues, but are still young with still the potential to hit. So I think we're swimming in right water, should I say, which is music to all our ears, isn't it?
Can I ask you a question? Do you think obviously these players we're looking at still don't have Premier League experience?
Yeah.
Where's that going to come from? Because we are going to need it. That's an interesting one for me.
Well, the thing is, Longstaff's still in there, isn't he? Getting banded around. Okay. Muniz is. We still need a left back. Still need a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Ben Davies might come. I know Ben Davies just signed a new contract, but let's talk about he may leave now. I think we're still. We definitely you do need Premier experience. You can't just get a load of players that never played in Premier. Hope he's 21 years old. Diarra, as good as he is, he might be. He might not be very good first colour. Bijol might be the same. He might dive in a couple of times, and we might see a couple of goals, and everyone gets on his back. Anything can happen with these lads when they're not got the experience of the league, the pace of the league, everything else. So you can't just put them all through. You can't buy a 4-player. I don't think Leeds can afford to buy 4 players: goalkeeper, centre back, centre midfielder, striker, with no Prem experience.
That spine, you think it needs to be a bit. Do you not think playing at a decent level in terms of the other top 4, top 5 leagues in the world is good enough? I know nothing compares to the Premier League. Are you saying it's still way off?
I think it's still way off. Yeah.
I
think it is just in terms of the pressure. The size of clubs, the games, the relentless nature, the speed of the game, I think certain places in the world, you probably still go out and have dinner and stuff. You can't do that over here really when you're a Premier League player. The pressure of it all, I think.
The pressure of playing for like Udinese, you're playing at a good level, but the pressure of Udinese against playing, against Everton at Elland Road, that first game in Premier League season, the walking out there, he's going to know, and he's going to be like, wow.
Even the weather, the weather's colder, all those sorts of things. Climatization to so many different things. It's not even got to be the football. It can be the weather. It can be family. It can be an unhappy wife. I know it can be very, but it's just, if you haven't lived in this country, it's just this completely different thing, isn't it? The culture over here is so different. A lot of European countries are like Spain, Italy, they're very, very similar in terms of you go there, it's the same feel, the temperatures. You come to this country, so different. It's so different. There's a lot of selling in, and I don't think those 4 players can be all players from Europe. I think, but the problem is, of course, that's where all the value is as well, though. You know, like you can get you know, like we were discussing the other day, you can probably spend £12 million, £15 million on a goalkeeper, and in Europe, there's probably that will come to Leeds that are viable solutions, 15 goalkeepers plus around Europe. You could just buy one, it'll work, it'll be okay. Not groundbreaking, but it'll be okay. It might be very good, but it'll be fine. But then in the Premier League, suddenly if you're talking Ramsdale, then you're talking 25-30 million all of a sudden.
Yeah. And you're paying for that experience as well, then, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Danny says. Danny's mentioned to me a few times on voice notes as well that he's worried about these players coming in and not gelling. I think it's imperative if you're not getting Prem experience as well, as we get the deals done sort of early, so they've got time to gel. You know, we've just found out now more games in pre-season coming up. There's plenty. So we know about 4. There's probably 2 in Germany. There's an opportunity there if they get it right for some of these lads to come in like a Bijol and have 6 games. You know, with a squad before he plays against Everton, all of a sudden it's a different beast. Then come Everton, and you know, rather than signing someone that you know the week of the season or even into the season. So, I'm enthused by who we're sort of looking at. But I'd like to move on. So John's asked me, Matty, which goalkeeper would you like to see at Leeds? So I'll sort of start this off. I'm hoping the whole Trafford to Newcastle, which sounds like it's been going on forever. I'm hoping that sort of moves the dominoes for Pope is who I would like. John Pepper. We'll get to the other lads as well. But what we sort of touched on it, didn't we, in group chat yesterday? And I sort of, come the end of last season, I said on here numerous times, so I've sort of changed my mind here, which we're allowed to do. I said goalkeeper is probably my most important position. I didn't just want a keeper to come in and make the numbers up. I wanted a goalkeeper to come in who will save us points, win us points, not just cost, obviously not cost us points, but actually win us points. I actually sort of changed my tune now. That would be nice. But I sort of look at it now and I think the goalkeeper can be left later in the window. I think the outfield players need to gel, as Danny says. They need to adapt to Farke's tactics if they haven't played under him before, which some players might come in or have done. We'll have to see. But I think the goalkeeper, as long as he's at a decent level, he doesn't have to be top draw for me now. I've sort of changed my tune on that. It needs to be at a level. Anyone who comes in for me will be better than Melier, so I'm going to be happy with that anyway. But a serviceable keeper who can do a solid job. I don't think there needs to be a meltdown that we haven't signed a keeper yet. There's plenty of time left before we play Everton, which is the main one. If we don't sign anyone until, 2 weeks before Everton, goalkeeper-wise, I don't think that's a problem. I think if we've still only signed 2 players, period, by the time we get to a couple of weeks outside Everton, then I'll be worried. But the goalkeeper position, lads, I think can rumble on a little bit longer. But I've seen the fan base in the last week sort of start to lose, certain sections start to lose their mind a little bit, worried that Messi's going to stay, there were the Fenerbahce links, worried that maybe Darlow starts. I mean, I don't know where you stand on that, but my choice will be Pope, but I aren't stressing just yet, John. How about you two?
No, I'm not. I'm same as you. I think there's plenty of time left to get one in. Are they waiting on the Pope? Are they just waiting to see what happens with him? If he's, like they said, the main target. There's loads of names. There's loads of names out there. Goalkeepers we can get who are better than Melier. Again, is it someone with Premier League experience that we're after? Then obviously that limits to who we can get. Obviously Petrovic linked from Chelsea. That's another name there. I'm just not worried. There's plenty of time left in the transfer window. Let's just wait. And obviously dominoes have got to fall at other clubs, and it's not a rushed position at the minute for me. It really isn't.
No,
I'd be, well, I don't want to, but I'd have Darlow in goal if need be against Everton. If it come to it, I'd rather still have Darlow than Melier. I can see Melier going, so we are going to need another goalkeeper, no matter what.
I'll be shocked if Melier didn't go. To be fair, I think. I'm not really that rushed on the goalkeeper either. I think there's lots of options. As you know, what I've heard is I sound like a twat, really. In the know twat. It's in the know twat. ITKT. What Pope's happy being second choice at Newcastle. That was I heard that 2-3 weeks ago. Trafford, but I said Trafford had a buyback clause for Man City for 40 million, and they didn't want to do it. So that's why. And so then Burnley had to go. So 30 odd million has gone to Newcastle. But Pope knew that was happening, and he's happy being second choice. Pope isn't going to leave Newcastle unless it's for a European club. That's what I heard. So because he is, by the way, he is my perfect option as well. You know, experienced. Really dependable, makes all the saves he's supposed to make.
What about his distribution, which is apparently appalling, which it isn't for me. It's just a weaker part of his game, in it, Adam. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not appalling at it.
Really. I mean, I don't think we don't need a goalkeeper pinging 50-yard balls to people's feet, and we don't need a. You know, you can make a 20-yard pass, roll it to the centre back or the fullback. Yeah. Fine. We're not going to have that much of the ball. It's not going to be like the championship of recycling possession all the time. It's just not going to happen. So we won't need a keeper to have loads of touches sometimes Melia had more touches than Pro in the first half and things like that last season. Yeah. It won't that just won't happen this season. We won't work like that.
And I think Melier's going to go, and I know Danny's just put it in there. He's got a year left on his contract. It makes total sense to sell him now. Everything we get is going to be pure profit. So it makes total sense to sell Melier. Why keep him this season to let him run down his contract and get nothing for him? Because he ain't going to get a new contract. Surely not. You ain't going to get a new contract at Leeds United. Am I the only one who thinks that or not?
No, he's not good enough. He's not good enough.
He's not good enough. So it makes total sense financially to try and get rid of Melier.
The thing is, you can take 5 million as well, and it's a little bit on PSI. We haven't got to get loads of money. It's not the 15, 20 million we needed before. Take 5 million, off he goes. That's fine.
It's crazy, isn't it, to keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. There's absolutely no way at all Melier gets through another season at Leeds United without costing us, as place in Premier League for me. If he played if he starts, not all can happen, can't it? But if he were to start. If you told me now Melier plays 50% of our games in Premier League, I tell you we're in Championship next season. That's how strongly I feel on that topic. Like, I genuinely think if he played 20 games, he will cost us in 3-4 of them, which will be solely his fault. We've seen it. The proof's in the pudding. I think he will push through a move. I won't lie, lads. I think he comes across like a really nice bloke. I want it for him as well. I want him to move away. The pressure won't be nowhere near, will it, Adam, what he's had at Leeds? He needs it for himself, and I think
he does need it. He needs a change. We'll somehow still get 5-7 million for him. I'm sure of it. He's still youngish keeper. He's done some decent stuff in the past. He has lapses in the moment, and there'll be lots of people that think they can train that out of him. But we've not managed it or get anywhere near it, throwing one in his net every four games. You look at the upsides of him as a goalkeeper, 6'6", athletic, good with his feet, can make worldy saves every now and then. In theory, like his highlight package, if you do YouTube highlight package of last season, he looked like an unbelievable keeper. So his ceiling isn't actually that massive, that high. He's peaked already. But if you look at it, you think he can go places still. And that's what someone will buy and go, great. That's what they'll discard all the bad stuff and go, great, we work with that. And then they'll think they'll get that. And then he'll throw the ball in his net four games in. He's just not up to it.
Do you think?
By the way, sorry, Matt. You said a second ago, if they asked you if Melier plays 50% of the games, do you think we'll be in Championship? If you ask Joe Rodon now, if Melier plays 50% of the games, where do you think it will be? He'd say Championship.
Yeah,
and that's actually everything you need to know. Like that, I guarantee that as well.
Yeah, 100% on that one, mate. You saw the players in front of him last season lost all, not saying respect for him, but lost all sort of feeling he were gonna do anything good in the game. Couldn't you? Could see it was evident last season. But yeah, with Melier, you're always going to have that because of his age and his experience for his age. He's all, like you say, there's going to be people potentially take a punt on him. I'd like to know, lads, if a club came in and said we'll loan him because no one was willing to put 5 million down for him, and I know he's got 1 year left in his contract, do you think Leeds would even look at it and go, loan him and he goes on a free next year just to get him off the wage bill, just to get that negative energy out of the club potentially? Because there will be negative energy as a fan base if he's still there come Everton, even if he doesn't start. Fans will want to see him sort of moved on. Although what I will say, I did a video and some fans were actually still backing him, not just Danny. But go on, reply to that, Sean. Would you loan him out?
No, ideally they'll be looking for a transfer. Well, yeah, I mean, wages, what would he be on now? I
bet it's an all right earner at Leeds, I would imagine. I bet it's
decent earning now. We're back in Prem.
It will
possibly.
Be, yeah.
I don't know. Look, I'd take 10 million me for him. That'd be sort of like
Obviously, mate.
10 million, definitely. Yeah,
I'd take a mil.
Probably less because, like I say, it's near just about pure profit in it that we'll make on him now.
Yeah. I think we've got like
I'd be surprised if it's a
4
loan.
million years ago, 4 million years and years ago. I think he's
Yeah, about 5 million. It was about 5 million over
Yeah.
5 years. And
yeah. So most of the all of the big bottom line, you probably pay his contract off as well because he wouldn't ask to leave. I think if someone come in with a loan, you might negotiate with him. And go, look, you can go if that's like, go off to France, whatever, play for whoever. But you might say, okay, we're going to extend your contract for 1 more year, and he'd probably say, okay. So it works for everyone, and off he goes for a year, and he might build some value up. That might even be the best bet as long as he agrees to the loan, the contract.
Just get some profit in for him, I think. Otherwise,
if we can do that, by the way,
get some profit in.
Someone
coming 49ers looking at that.
I'll bite their hand off.
Yeah, no, 100%. Give him Madison as well, says Dovey. What's this one? One sec.
By the way, we've got a lot of players to get rid of.
Yeah,
Timothy Weir, you put in group chat, big X early, didn't you?
Yeah, that's a no non-starter completely.
Obviously, Adam is a little bit in the know, a little bit, right? We're not going to go into details, but I'll tell you what, he pisses on our parade all the time. So we'll put a link in chat, we'll be like, ooh, and then Adam will just go, like fucking catchphrase. Not catchphrase, what's that one? Family Fortunes. You'll be like, oh, sound, that was fun for about 90 seconds. Cheers, mate. I almost kicked him out of it last week. He was doing my fucking Sweden, he was. Cricket this, Orlando that. Oh, you're not getting that player. Fuck off. Give me 5 minutes, will you? Some joy. But no, you sort of said no on the Timothy Weir stuff, didn't you? After we were just getting excited, mate. Yeah, he just sticks his oar in. Honestly, you're funny, like you are funny. Let me get into this one. So, what are your opinions on the Manchester United game? I know it's only a friendly, but it's going to be exciting playing them. My mate Danny, who's in chats off to Stockholm, it's going to be class. I actually think it's not a major thing playing preseason friendly. The first one as well. You know, there's plenty of time. You know, if you lose in preseason, sometimes you get managers and players who aren't that bothered. But I think because of the game it's going to be an interesting friendly. Everyone's going to be looking at it. I think if Leeds can beat Scum with a really good performance, I feel like, I'm not saying it'll elevate Leeds this season, but I think it could really derail their start of pre-season to a point where we all think Scum are going to struggle next season. Imagine if Leeds rock up and absolutely spank them with the high Leeds are on and the lull Scum are on. It's a decent time to play him in a friendly, Sean. Man, I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, listen, they're rebuilding, aren't they? Obviously, they've got
man,
massive issues. I think I'd love us just to get the win for ourselves as well, just to give us that confidence, especially in the players, obviously, who've not really had a lot of experience in the Premier League. It's going to be a big game, of course it is. It's Scum. I'm more excited about seeing us and how we're going to line up than anything else. I mean, look, it's just a friendly. Each squad could be different come the first game in Premier League. It's always exciting, isn't it, though, to play against Man United, and hopefully we will beat them. I think we've got a great chance, absolutely great chance.
I do.
It's going to be a great occasion in it as well. I think there's a lot of fans going over, and
a lot of fans.
I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch it. Man, I mean, if they're going to carry on the form, obviously from last season, then we're definitely going to give them a game, no problem.
Is
an issue.
the Guiseley game on the same day? Do we know?
Guiseley?
Yeah, we're playing Guiseley, aren't we? I think it might be a Leeds 11 against Guiseley. I think it might be more of an under 21 fixture though.
If it is, then that will be one. It won't be first team squad if it is.
That's the biggest problem with this fixture, the damp squid part of it is because it's first friendly for both sides. I want to see full strength teams first half and then complete different 11 second half. It's like I was thinking that
later on. I was thinking that myself, Adam, because I've Scum they tend to play a lot of young uns, don't they? In the first few friendlies, it's not going to obviously be the full strength team, and
no.
We're going to take a squad and some youth players.
There you go.
Guys, like Harry Gray, they're going to be included in it, and things like that. Who knows? But yeah, it's more for me about the lineup and formation that we're going to play. and that's what I'm more interested in than North. But a
Yeah,
win
definitely.
would be great.
Definitely.
Harry Gray will be in squad to play Manchester United, and Bamford and Melly will be playing Guiseley. Lining up against Guiseley, Mez and Bamford. They'll be like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I think actually, I know you're joking, but I think we'll see a lot of movement after the PSR deadline, end of June. We'll see a lot. The Greenwoods, Gelhards, JB going alone, maybe Debayo going alone, definitely. Joe probably going. I think we'll see a lot of movement from early July, definitely.
First Tuesday next week, 1st of July.
Yeah,
off we go, and I think that's when we're going to start seeing a lot going out.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Let me get a couple of these starred comments I've done. I'm seeing you before, Devin Dollins. Hope you're well. Cheers from Oklahoma. What formation do you guys reckon we play? So I know we've sort of touched on it, but what's your heart saying? I think it's a 4-2-3-1, just a bit more defensive. What you got?
I've got like Devin. Go back to the start because I went over and I said the same thing like 15 times at the start, mate. So I can't.
Three at the back. Three at the back. I'll go 3 at the back.
I think majority will be 4 at the back with a 3 midfield and a 3 up front. The wingers dropping in, of course.
What about this one from Mike Adam to you, mate? Anything in Douglas Luiz?
I put it in the group, Mike. You know, if you look earlier, I said,
do you?
If we can get that one over the line, that is a right signing. That's
at the moment that's a no, though. But at the moment, but that was. Do you know what? Usually just a no. At the moment, that's a no. So that's an interesting one, isn't it? I think
Would you rather have Douglas Luiz or Diarra?
Diarra, I think.
What kind of player would we be getting with Douglas Luiz? Would we be getting an upgrade on Rothwell, someone who's classy on the ball, who can strut around, as opposed to a Diarra? Is he a totally different profile? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think it's his passing, isn't it? It's his vision and passing. I think if we
good at set piece,
Rothwell. These like Douglas Luiz can put his foot in as well. Like he's a good all-round solid centre fielder. He won't get you many goals, I don't think. Or
he's not a box crushing 8, is he?
No, I think he'd be more the DM, but he's be good on the ball. I just can't see us spending the money we need to spend to get him. I don't feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we're going to spend that sort of money, when you know we're linked to a Diarra, I think we'd probably go get the Diarra deal done. I think the thing with Diarra, I think the club sees if Diarra stays for 2 years, he could be worth 60 million. I don't think the same with Douglas Luiz. I think we'd be buying him. We'd be buying a very good player at the market value that he might have peaked at his market value as well. Yeah,
Diarra hasn't peaked.
Wages as well, wouldn't it? You can imagine his wages a bit astronomical. Where probably Diarra's wouldn't be.
Touch on this before we look at the fixtures and go over them, really. But the whole Brentford appointment today. What do you guys make of that? I did a little video earlier on TikTok saying that's one at relegation spots taken. Like, genuinely, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know what he's like as a coach. I've not seen him on training field. He could be a really good coach. We don't like him as Leeds fans because he's a bit of a twat when he speaks about Leeds. And let's be fair, Keith Andrews, he doesn't say very positive stuff about our club. So we don't like him in general in the media, but he could be a decent coach. But I've seen a lot of people today. On Leeds Bros, Darren was messaging me earlier, said he's had a few Leeds fans giving him stick, saying that he's a better coach than Farker, which is absolutely mental. Honestly, I've got a screenshot from Darren on my phone where someone's been having a pop at him, I think, on X today. A couple of people saying that he's better than Farker. Well, if you think Andrews is better than Farker, you've got an agenda against Farker because you've got no proof about how good Andrews is, but you just don't clearly like Farker. I honestly cannot believe he's been given that gig, if I'm honest. I think we always talk about Rooney and Lampard and people like, at least they were top footballers in their own right. Like Andrews was just a steady Eddie. Honestly, how has he got that club? Highly thought of. He's in the club and understand that it's like promoting within, which is good. But yeah, a bit wild for me, boys. What do you think?
I think David Ockaday were a good coach, wasn't he?
He was, mate. Great PE teacher, that guy.
He was a great PE teacher and a coach,
Brilliant.
But then obviously got the big role and it all fell to shit, really. But I can't believe Brentford have gone for him. I think Brentford would have been a great club for a lot of, highly rated managers.
Postecoglou.
Yes. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's available, isn't he?
Yeah, and I can't believe they've gone for him. Hopefully that's great for us. I'd like to think now that Brentford may struggle this season. But I don't know. They obviously must rate him. They must, see something in him to give him that role, because it's a massive role. It really is, and only time will tell. But no, I'm not a big fan, and I can't believe it. I can't believe that they've given him it.
It screams of a club rather, sorry, that had no succession planning at all. Like they didn't go, oh, what if Frank leaves? Where do we go? I think to go to it took a while to get to him as well, didn't it? It's not like a week later, a couple of days later, we'll go with it's a fairly random appointment, definitely. I can't. It's not going to work out. It's definitely not going to work. He was a set piece coach as well. He wasn't an assistant manager, and he was a set piece coach.
It's a really strange one, but yeah, Discourse Peacocks, Evie, just pop in and say hello and send you all some love. Yeah. Matt is a fantastic human being, so make sure you smash the like and subscribe. Thanks so much, Evie, love. Thank you. We'll chat again soon. But yeah, thank you so much, Evie, for dropping in and say hi. Hope you're well.
Cheers, Evie.
You're a star. But yeah, I agree, mate. Like I said, the fact he was set piece coach and not an actual assistant coach, or it's just a really bizarre move. But obviously they've seen something in him. They know it's going to be a tough season. It always is in Premier League, so they're risking, becoming a Championship side next season by doing it. So they must rate him. There's obviously something in there they've seen. But as a newly promoted side, I'm looking at me, lads, right? I'm looking, going, right, you've got 9 teams. I think 9 teams in Europe. Tick. You've then given a side who are losing some of their better players and just lost their manager that's kept them up. For me, Brentford coming up under Frank and sticking with them and building is what you want as a Championship side. Without Frank, I think they'd have probably slipped already. I look at them and think they've just lost Frank, and now they'll put Andrew. Another tick as a newly promoted side. This will give Burnley confidence, Sunderland confidence. It's another chink in someone's armour. Because I expect your Tottenhams, I expect your Scums to improve. I don't expect them to be knocking down 16th or 17th. So I'm hoping your Brentfords get dragged down. I'm hoping your Bournemouths get dragged down. Your Forests are going to get dragged down by being in Europe. We've got to hope. That's all we've got as a fan in it. Hope. And when you're looking, we were looking before. We didn't want to dive too much into it when we first got promoted, because you don't want to put it down on it. But you're looking for that wounded sort of animal at the back of the pack, thinking, who can we drag into a dogfight here? Oh, it's going to be tough, this, boys. How do we stay up? Another side, other than the other 2 promoted, has to go, who's it going to be? All of a sudden now, you start looking, and Brentford's when you just pull straight down there and go, they will struggle next season. For me, you look at the league, they ain't going to be up there in top 10 where they've been, or in and around that. We're losing Thomas Frank. It's such a massive deal when you lose a manager you've had for so long. You start losing your better players, and when we'll go in and stuff like that, potentially. I think they've turned down a bit again today, but I expect him to move. So yeah, I'm really excited for a season that I don't believe we'll be flirting with 17th anymore. I think we'll be a little bit higher than that, boys. A little bit higher.
Do you know what, though? Yep. Leicester got 25 points last season. I think Spurs got 38, I think. So what I don't expect is any of the established Premier League sides, which is every other club and the 3 that come up, to get less than 30 points. Do any of us expect that? Do you expect Brentford to get less than 30 points? Really? No. Really? So exactly. No. So we've got to find a way from going from what Leicester accomplished at 25 to getting near 40 or beyond, 30 and beyond. Now, so that it's all on us, really. But unless we get 38 points plus, we're not going to be even in the conversation. So regardless who gets pulled in, if we get 44 points, we stay up. We get 40 points, we probably stay up. We've got 30 points, we've got 38 points, we've got a chance there. So it's all on us. Whoever, West Ham, Brentford, Fulham unlikely, Bournemouth unlikely. Who else? Whoever else.
Wolves
potentially, yeah. But relying on them to get less than 40 points is a big ask. So, because straight away we've got to get we've got to find a way. I know it's a bit arsey to get the 12 points against Sunderland and Burnley. You've got to try and find a way to get those 4 games, get 12. And if you can do that, okay, because you only got 1 point a game. So if you can get 12 in four, that's a big ask. Don't get me wrong, but. We've got to find a way to get 40 points, otherwise we're not even going to be, or 38 points plus, not be in the conversation. Otherwise, not going to be in the conversation.
Tommy,
I've looked at the fixtures. I've looked at the fixtures.
Shall I bring them up, boys? Shall I bring them up?
Bring them up, and I predict. I've looked at the games, and I've wrote down where and what games I think we can pick up points. I've predicting we get 46 points.
Oof, I don't think we get that many, but I love your
It's a big push. But that keeps us up.
Oh, mate, that gets us up and some. I think 46. I mean, yeah, I think we'll be fine
Easily.
on 46. Yeah,
what
I'm not
games
too sure.
there? I mean, obviously, every game's hard in the Premier League. It really is. We know this. We're not thinking we're going to roll teams over, but Everton at home. What we're thinking?
Chance. It's big chance. It's what
Big chance for 3 points.
You know what it is, lads. Right? It's it's on a knife edge, right? Because you beat Everton, and then it gives you an opportunity against Arsenal and Newcastle. I don't want to use the term free hits. I don't ever want that to really come out of my mouth. It might do, who knows, right? But it gives you the opportunity to drop points in them 2 games. Don't care what anyone says. It does. You lose to Everton. Oh my God, we're up against it straight away because Arsenal's going to be tough. Newcastle at home, because it's at home, it gives you a bit of hope. Chances are that'll be tough. And then you've got Fulham away and Wolves away, which if you go through those first 3 games, lads, and we haven't picked up a win, all of a sudden Fulham and Wolves, you're talking, if we don't win these, lads, it's a nightmare start.
Listen, I look at Fulham and Wolves and think, well, we can pick a point up there, no problem. Point away from home there for them 2 teams. Newcastle, Arsenal, predicting a loss there straight. You've got to, haven't you? Really, anything more than that is a bonus. We're going to be celebrating draws this season, and we're going to need these every single point, aren't we? And I like the apart from December, I like the look of the fixtures. I do, especially the last couple of months.
One thing I hate about it: 3 games, international break.
I wish
3 games, international break. 4 games, international break. 2 weeks off. It's absolute BS. And every time I say, if those 3 games and then those don't go very well, or those 4 games, those 2 weeks off, something great time to sack Farker. There'll be so much noise around. There'll be so much pressure on this. So much pressure. Because a lot of people, everyone's, I mean, all Leeds fans are hoping he does well, obviously, because Leeds do well, of course. But there'll be a lot of pressure on him, and there'll be a lot of he's not good enough Premier League. As soon as he loses a couple of games, he's not going to draw against Everton, lose Arsenal, lose Newcastle. Really, really feasible. International break. Parker's got to go. Great time to sack him. Get a new manager in. Get the players together.
You can see it, can't you? You can see conversations
every time. It's going to be so noisy. Really noisy, and the 49ers be quite interested in that because I'm not sure. Actually, I'm certain they don't 100% back him already because they can't. Because they'll be unsure him going Premier League. He's never
how many games, Adam? How many games you giving him? I've said 10. I've said 10.
Do you know what Matty said? It really well the other day. It depends on performance. Depends what you see.
Yeah,
it really does. If you lose the first 3 and you get rolled, because to compete with Arsenal, you got to stop Saka and White going. You got to stop Martinelli getting in behind you. You got to stop Havertz. You got to stop Odegaard playing. You got to defend corners. You got to defend. Compete with Newcastle. You got to stop all their runners. Joel Linton's running Murphy. Isak's in behind. He's Harvey Barnes. Left back. I forgot his name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like it's a completely different game to how you stop these different teams.
Yeah,
they're all so different. So it's tough. You've got to be flexible in everything you do.
It's unrealistic, Adam, innit, to expect points in every game, but it's not unrealistic to expect performance and expect endeavour and expect tactical nous to give you the best opportunity of performing on the day. That is viable. That should happen. So the games, like you say, Arsenal away, chances are, and I am a positive fan, and I will probably never predict a loss, even in Premier League. I probably won't because I hate doing it. You hope for a point. Can we win a game? Of course we can. It can happen on the day. But on average over the season, Arsenal's away, Chelsea's away, City away, Liverpool away. You probably are going to come out with nothing. But he needs to set us up in a way to give us a best opportunity. I don't want to go to Arsenal and see us pump 3 or 4. I want to go to Arsenal, and it might hurt if we concede a late, a goal. It's a 1-0 loss. But if you can walk away from there, the eye test and the stats, everything back up a really solid performance from manager to coaching staff to the players, and they're all in unity, you can lick your wounds and go again because you can see this summit building. You can see the potential and what they're trying to do. So for me, the eye test is probably more important for that first 4 or 5 games than the actual points. But what I will say is after that August period, that is a very, very favourable win from start of September, lads, to Villa, 22nd November, Fulham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, Forest. That is a favourable run. Oh, my word. That is... you know, our home form in them games has to be paramount. You know, Tottenham, Bournemouth, West Ham, then Villa, you know, obviously Everton, Newcastle. I think home, it has to be where we pick up majority of our points. But looking at those away games, Fulham, Wolves, Burnley, Brighton, Forest, there's 5 away games in a row there that are all winnable games.
That's what I'm saying.
Massive. That's massive.
That's what I'm saying. And even if you're picking points up away from home.
The winnable, mate. The winnable, because I think as a fan, if it's out that thing, if it's not a European giant, ultimately you feel the winnable. If I not even as a Leeds fan, but as a fan of football, as a Premier League side, if I'm looking at Brighton away, Forest away, Burnley away, Wolves and Fulham away, looking at them thinking we ain't got a chance, then what games are we going to win? Because away from home, we're going to have to pick up some points, and they're the kind of games where we are in the game. They've still got better squads than us. Don't get me wrong. Still got better squads than us.
If you don't think games are winnable, there's no point in even competing in the Premier League. We wouldn't start. But and I know what you're saying, the Man City, the Liverpool, the Arsenal, the ones you just draw a line under. But it's like right now, the squad we have right now, we go every other team should come in with a handicap. Like Arsenal have a 3-goal handicap against us to give us a chance. Like right now, they are so much better. Their squad's worth like £1 billion. Their squad's worth like 3 times more than our bloody club. You know, like it's so difficult what we're going into. But don't get me wrong, we will buy players and we will compete. Don't get me wrong, I'm really excited, and I think we will stay up. But we've got to do an awful lot. And Falk's got to show it. The players have got to show it. And it's not just about endeavour and will. It's about setup. You know, we can't, you know, like Jesse Marsh, you didn't have to be a technical genius to work out Jesse Marsh. If someone played a 25-yard horizontal ball, player would be in 20 yards of space every time because everyone was over the other side. Like, it's not rocket science. You know, like, it's not going to be that bad. Of course it's not. And I don't think it will be bad at all. But you say you've got to see a setup of the side. How are we beating Arsenal? Are we going direct? We have one man up front and then the wingers join him. We're playing 5 at the back. You know, as you say, we've got to see it all. Can't just go 4-2-3-1 every game. Just hope it works out and go, we're going to defend 5. Every time we've got the ball, we're pushing forward. We're going to defend 10 yards from halfway line. And Bijal's always turning and running after Haaland or Salah or Calvert-Lewin or Saka or Harvey Barnes or Isaac. It's not going to work. So you got to obviously, and don't get me wrong, I think Fark's much better than that, and I think we will see that. I think we will see it, but it's you're right, winnable. But we got right now. We've got to do so much. We've got to do so much to even get up to a level to compete. Even
I want to see flexibility this season from Farke. That's what I want to see. Flexibility with his tactics, and not. If he's going to be stubborn about things, then I think he's not going to last too long. But yeah, going back to fixtures, lads, I'm really happy with them, and now they're laid out, like I say, apart from December and in January. And look, this is why I said 46, but we'll see. We'll see.
That momentum's got to start well, I think, for us. You know,
and there's going to be games where we actually surprise ourselves, maybe, and then there's probably going to be games where we think we should have at least come back.
Like Danny said there, mate, we probably win away at Stamford Bridge, then lose at home to Burnley. Yeah, it's the Leeds way, isn't it?
Right, probably.
There's going to be bits like that, but I do think Ellen Road has to be a little bit of a fortress. Yeah. Do you think we can do that? I mean, you've seen the last 2 seasons, and I know the quality goes up. But our quality goes up to our level of player goes up in the signings. We have to believe our squad's going to be a lot better than it has been the last 2 years, and it's been pretty good. But I think the sort of momentum, I'm massive on momentum, me in life in general. And you do something well, it can have a knock-on effect, and you can keep going on that trajectory. You start losing a couple of games, and that mindset goes down. Whatever it is in whatever you do in life, that positive energy can definitely spur you on. And I think Ellen Road, 2 whole seasons now, it's a decent, barometer to sort of measure against, regardless of the quality. Ellen Road now is a fortress. Just because we've gone up in quality, does that mean automatically we lose half our own games? I'm not too sure it does, lads.
I think Ellen Road is crucial. You say, because you look at that, you look at the highlight fixtures. The highlight for a reason, they're your home games, right? So you look at them, you go, that's the first. I'm sure you guys are probably the same. You look for it, you see the highlight games. They're the ones you think you can win more than the away games. But do you know what's really exciting as well? Tanaka, how's he going to get on the Premier League? Rodon, Bogle, October, Burnley away. Has Perot just scored 2 goals coming off the bench, and they're talking about him on Match of the Day as a great finish because he's already scored 4 goals in the Premier League this season. It's really, I think we've got some players that can not necessarily surprise us because we can expect it, but it'd be quite interesting how these lads get on. I think Snacka can hit the ground right and be. People always, I say, Spurs fans say to me, "We'd love Snacka. I'd love to get your guy in midfield. He's quality." Spurs, there's 3 or 4 different Spurs fans said it to me. about Tanaka? Because he's obviously saying going around about him. Ampadu. How's he going to go in the Premier League? Yeah, is Ampadu Tanaka going to be our starting DMs to start the season? Like there's lots of exciting players come through. Is Harry Gray going to get a look in? Probably not. But it's all. Do you know what? It's above all else. It's really exciting. And I think we will do fine. I know you can say the problem is I look at every game individually and I worry then. But actually, as a whole, I think I'm just excited about it because I do back the club to get the right transfers in as well to make that difference.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The transfers are massive, Adam, isn't it? It's easy for us to sit here and say this and that, but it all depends on who we get in as well. And if we get the players in, it's all on the manager then. It's all on the manager then. But
100%, mate. This comment from Easy, like I'm shocked. Obviously, Easy's not Farker's. He's not Farker's biggest fan, is this? But I'm surprised you think top 10 finish with Farker in charge.
Well, he doesn't, does he? He wants us to be 16th so he can go Farker out.
What's making you so confident? It'd be great. Yeah, it'd be great. We can shock a few teams, and obviously a ninth again would be great, wouldn't it? But what's making you so confident there, Easy?
I know where he's coming from. That he's already seeing us losing 4 out of the first 5 and Farker going, it's really hard for a promoted club. I think he's already getting annoyed at Farker's excuses.
I think he's probably just riding high of promotion and stuff and just thinking, why you've got.
I know Easy.
I understand you've got to weigh him high and stuff, but I think it's. Honestly, I think it's a little bit delusional to tip a top 10 finish. I think when you look at the strength of the league, I also think, don't get me wrong, I'd bite your bloody hand off for a 9th or 10th finish, but I also think it sets a bit of a unrealistic precedent going forward. We saw it under Bielsa. If you finish bloody 8th, 9th, 10th in your first season, you probably aren't going to better that the second season. So I think a steady climb will do me. But I do believe my expectations have risen with the links and with, and Metcha. I actually think, Adam, can I get your thoughts on a Metcha before we wrap up?
Can I get your thoughts actually quickly on saying do you remember how you guys felt when we come up under Bielsa? How optimistic were you at that point? Like right now, during this stage, pre-season, how optimistic were you guys before the season with Bielsa?
Under Bielsa?
Last time.
Go on. I thought we'd really, really struggle. And then the first game against Liverpool, and it just blew me out of the water. I mean, what a game that was. And how good we were. And if we could do anything like that this season, I'd be really happy. I would really be happy. But I'm trying to keep my expectations sort of down here a little bit. Because I'm not going to say we're going to be 10th or like that. No, because we've got to be realistic. I'm trying to be so realistic. And otherwise, I think I'll just make myself disappointed come end of season.
I didn't even think about it really, mate. I was more excitable. Liverpool away at first game of season, that excited me. I think Liverpool away now instead of Everton would have probably worried me, considering then Arsenal, Newcastle. I'd been probably a bit more concerned because I know what we're facing. I was just so excited. Honestly, I probably didn't have, in terms of a prediction, I can't really remember thinking anything other than just let's go. It was COVID time as well, just having football back. I knew it'd be exciting. That first game against Liverpool showed you what kind of season we were going to have. It was going to be exciting. There were going to be plenty of goals, for us and conceding. So I didn't really have a level of expectation, to be fair. It always felt a little bit unreal. It always felt a little bit like this ain't going to last forever. This is a bit random. Like we've gone from being absolutely turgid to all of a sudden having the best 2 years of his life, and then it continued into the third year and we had a brilliant year there. But if I'm honest, mate, I didn't have any expectations. I just went with it, and I think we all did because of the time in our lives when it sort of hit. Football, when it came back, it kept the country going as Leeds fans and Liverpool fans alike.
Yeah,
Leeds and Liverpool, that season of getting promoted, then winning title, it kept us going. We had most people will have had lost family members. If not, most people will have known someone who lost family members. It was an awful time. So for me, mate, it was just enjoying the moment. Whereas now, even last season, I always said I tried to enjoy the moment, but it came with a lot more stress than it did under Bielsa. I didn't feel stressed under Bielsa, other than those poignant games where you had to go win, your derbies that were lost, and then, certain games you had to crucially win. I just enjoyed it. Whereas now it feels very stressful. Like last season, you've got to win every game. We've got to win every game. If we don't win, someone will win around us. This season, I want to try and not feel that stress, which is going to be hard. But what I will say is when we don't pick up points, lads, the chances are the teams in and around us aren't all going to pick up points. That's the difference this season to last season. So when if we play against Everton and we don't win, if we then 6 games time, whatever, you play Bournemouth and Tottenham and you don't win, chances are the teams in and around us aren't winning, aren't going on 4 or 5 game winning runs like your Southamptons and your Leicesters were over year, like Sheffield United at times were and Burnley were this season. We haven't got that to worry about.
Do you know?
Relax a little bit.
Early season, we won't know who else to look at. Really, we'll know Sunderland, Burnley, and we'll hope Brentford, blah blah blah, might not get any points, but we won't know who to look at to go. Oh, they're not winning either. But I remember last time we come up under Bielsa, I bet, I think it was 19 people, 50 quid, that would finish top 8. And so I was
top 8. You wish you'd said top 9.
Well, that was quite frustrating. Then they all agreed to double or quit the season after. And then they all thankfully. By the way, I wouldn't have took a penny off anyone either. So even though it's all part of a cricket club. So I was so confident because I was explaining to people the way Bielsa transcends like levels and what's fair. And I say the way he plays football is just different to everyone else. Yeah. He is just an equaliser in his own right, and he wasn't that first season. Massively so.
We surprised a lot of teams, didn't we, of how we played, and then obviously. I think obviously they figured us out, didn't the second season? But I just loved how we just surprised everybody. Probably surprised ourselves as fans of how we went about the games and got the wins we did in the Premier League. Can we do it this season though? That's the thing. And
even that season though, we bought Spain's number 9. We bought this Brazilian right winger.
Yeah,
you watch video like he played for Rennes the day before, and his cross. I thought, wow, free kicks, crosses. He looked unbelievable. I thought, wow. And then he came in and played. I think was it Villa away? He came. Oh no, it's Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace came on first game, I think. And I was saying there was about someone was like Mahrez. I thought, well, what's this guy Rafinha for us? He's quite Mahrez-esque. He's actually a much better footballer than Mahrez. Mahrez is top of the league at that stage. Like even if Llorente, we're buying internationals left, right, and centre. Like that window on the face of it at the time looked. By the way, and that's really important. Looked unbelievable as well. Yeah. And probably won't be matched this time. Because we bought Spain's number 9, regardless of age. A lot of the wrong profiles for Bielsa's side, don't get me wrong as well. But actually, it was like the whole thing looked the part. And, like I say, we haven't got that manager now that's going to transcend, which is going to overtake, that's going to equalise, his tactics are so good, so different that it doesn't matter the players. We've got so much because actually our manager is much better than your manager. Like our tactics is much better. We play such a different brand of football. Yeah. Look, we're not coming to draw against you. We're coming to beat you, and you've got to try and keep up. That's just people don't do that anymore. Unless you Pep Guardiola, the best players in the world, and it's easy. It's fine. You just throw Haaland and Mahrez and De Bruyne or whatever. It works. So we've got to work really hard at this, same as every other club has. And Falk, by the way, is going to lose games of football, as Matty says. We haven't got, and that's what everyone. We haven't got to win every game of football. No, we've got to get a point a game to compete. That's what we've got to get to. That's 38 points is our minimum requirement. If we can get 41, we can get 42, we can get 44, then we will be fine. So actually, people just got to limit their expectations. And if you don't like Falk, I'm not a massive Falk fan. I don't really particularly like him as a person, but I can see this working. Yeah.
Very catty. I
can see it working. I can see the right squad coming in, and I'm really excited for the season.
Thing is, he doesn't have to do much for it to be a successful season. He's got to be better than 3 teams, and it'll be deemed a success. That's it. By the 49ers, he's got to be better than 3 other teams. That wasn't the case last season. We had to be better than 18, 20 teams, whatever it was. That's not the case this season. So the bar's high in terms of what we've got to do to maintain Premier League status.
It needs a good start, Matty. You've just said it. It needs a good start, and we need to at least be picking a few points up. couple of points every 4 games or something like that. And
who do you think, Sean's going to spearhead our attack? Because I honestly, lads, I've unplugged from the transfer sort of stuff. Even though it's heated up a little bit, I've unplugged a little bit. I don't watch as much content as I used to, which ain't great having a YouTube channel, but I've been a bit quiet on it just because it hasn't been my thing. But the Moon is at Fulham. Do you see that being our striker come game day? And would you like him? Do you think he's got the attributes we need as a standalone striker up there?
Who?
Moon is from Fulham.
If we can get it over the line, yes. And I think they're not going to. Well, we're not going to spend all that money on a striker for him to be sat on bench. Surely not. I'm not writing off Pirro like Sean says there, but
yeah, I'm not.
We need. The only thing I like the profile of Muniz and the fact he's played in Premier League and he can score goals in the Premier League, which is, I think, a big factor in what the 49ers are looking at. I know we've been linked to so many players and strikers. I think whatever striker we get in, and it's going to be the profile of the striker, I think he starts first game of the season for us. That's what I think.
Yeah.
We've got to. I think. I think it'd be wrong to put it all on Pirro. Again, we need a good start. And yeah, whoever we sign is going to come. I think it'll be straight in as the number 9.
Massive pressure.
We've got a lot to do still. Like, we've got to buy a starting goalkeeper, left back. We've already bought a centre back, a centre midfielder, which might be the 10, might be an 8, might be some. Maybe an attacking midfielder, probably not. But a striker, definitely. So there's 4 without an attacking midfielder. That's centre midfielder, attacking midfielder option. We've still got the 4 starters, and they've all got to be starters. They've all got to be better than what we've got. All of them. And Muniz fits into that perfectly. Like, he's a really good all-round striker. You can't have Pro up front starting games because when we're sitting back, you've got to have an option of someone running behind.
Yeah.
You've got to. If they don't think, if Liverpool don't think you've got an option of someone running behind, they can squeeze out the pitch another 10 yards. You're stuffed, absolutely stuffed. They'll squeeze you in for 90 minutes and they'll score 4 goals. So you've got to have the option. It can't just be Dan James on the right. So yeah, Pirro, by the way, is a really good player, but I think it'll be a sub option. That's what it'll be, and he's a moments player. But if that chance because no matter what striker I get, I'm more than happy that chance falling to Pirro still because he's a great finisher.
100%. He'll still score in Premier League, but like you say, against certain opposition, mate. Against certain opposition, they will have an easy day against Pirro in certain games. There'll be certain games where the defense will have an easy game, and if like you say, if you're then bringing on an Amecha, which physical, get up, but he ain't going to run in behind as much as Muniz probably will. You know what I mean? Stretch him, make him, have a different option, make him think twice. So I think I wouldn't be against Pirro starting games, but we need a proper 9, I think, to come in. Someone who's not just there to make numbers. Because I think Emmett just come as a bench option, in my opinion, but someone who will get minutes in the role of Bamford coming on for the last 20, a different option. I think Pirro knows he'll get game time. I think he'll stick around. He'll do okay. But I do believe that 9, that 25, 30 million pound players yet to come in. And our best 9 isn't at the club yet, in my opinion. And I'm a massive Pirro fan. I'm a massive Pirro fan. I also think his best centre midfielder's not at the club yet. And that's wild with Tanaka being there. So there's some big transfers still to come for Leeds, lads. Some big transfers.
And if we need a goal last 20 minutes in games, I mean, you bring a Pirro on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Great option to off the bench, really is.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if we bring in any more bench options, because obviously a Met just come as a bench option. If we were to sign, Diarra, are we still in for a long staff? Where we need that spine strengthening, I think we still need 4 or 5 starters, like you said, Adam. But do you think we'll still be looking at bringing in a couple of players like an Amecha to bulk out that squad? Because that bench probably needs lifting as well, doesn't it?
We'll have to. Like, we need, to play whatever. I say our fullbacks are so important. You need in the Premier League, we need 2 left-footed fullbacks. We need 2 left-footed left backs rather. We just have to have them. We have to have that option. If you buy one left back and he gets injured 1 game in, you're stuffed. You got to have 2 left-footed left backs. It's crucial to what we do. I think the Metro came from nowhere. I think we'll get a couple more like that. I think so. I think we might get a young centre back potentially as well as a 4th option. So Anthony doesn't have to fill in there. A left back
Mm.
definitely, and maybe a young winger potentially. If we're not buying a first, I don't think we'll buy a starting winger. I don't feel like. I think, like you say, Ramazani, Nonto, James will make do. But of course, as well, no one's ruling out a Pro, a Nonto, a Ramazani, Pro and a Ramazani, Pro, Nonto. Those they could potentially be sold as well for PSR potentially, if it all sort of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Potentially, not saying it will be, but potentially, especially Nonto. That's such an easy one, isn't it? Make money on.
Yeah, no, it is. Tommy, who do you follow, mate? Who do you follow? I want to know 8 starters and a new manager, or what? We're getting relegated on less than 30 points. Who do you follow, pal? Come on, speak to
I
me.
like Tommy. I like
Yeah, we love Tommy. Tommy K. Does Joseph get sold, lads?
Yeah.
We'll all agree we'd rather probably loan him. We're not.
Yeah, I'd
loan
rather
him and see
loan
where
him.
he is.
So
But
I think he's a player in there, and I'd love to keep him. Especially he's only young in it as well.
You've only got to look at that game against Chelsea, how good he was that day. Again, like 2 goals in the FA Cup. He was so good. But I think the problem is with PSR, it all goes straight on the bottom line, 8 million. Like Bijol PSR, he's transfer fee, 5 years, £3 million a year. So that 8 million goes on the bottom line. You can he covers Bijol for 1 year in terms of his transfer fee, also signing on fee, wages, etc. But you get rid of Joe's wages as well. So yeah, the PSR just balanced, same as that when Elliot went to Forest, 40 million because they had to sell him because actually just balances it. It all goes straight on the bottom line, and every play you bring is amortized over the length of the contract. So you just can't argue against it.
Tommy can.
Oh,
Tommy can.
Call it
Ball
ball
knowledge. Doesn't matter. Call it. What's it? So ball because you think we need 8 more.
who's he? Tommy, who do you support?
He won't tell us. It's a secret, mate.
I bet it's Spurs. I bet it's Spurs. They're all Spurs fans.
I've got a feeling it's
Spurs
the red side of Manchester.
Joining in though, Tommy. I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of them lads where you don't support Leeds and it's a Friday night, Tommy. Get yourself out on tiles, lad. But you'd rather be sat watching us,
lads.
Full
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Don't worry about it, mate. Tommy will still be here, pal.
Tommy,
we're only waiting to see. We're going to end the stream as soon as Tommy tells us who follows. Yeah. Well,
maybe
mate.
Sean's Tommy. Do you ever think of that?
Oh, wow! Look at that. He's a Leicester fan or a Scum fan.
Oh, Tommy, man, come on.
Who is it? Because I said Scum and he's put I am. How delayed is this?
Man.
How delayed is this? I want to know. Have you come straight in after Danny being a Leicester fan, or are you talking about when I said being a Scum fan?
You can't be a Leicester fan.
I hope he is. That's even funnier than him being a Scum fan right now, isn't it?
You got no club left to support, mate. Just follow Vardy wherever he goes. You'll be fine.
Tommy wishes he were a Bradford fan. That's how bad it's got for Tommy. Tommy wishes he were a Bradford fan.
Bradford,
close to Leicester. Oh, he's a Leicester fan, I think. Wow.
Oh, Forest. No. Oh, do you know what? I don't care.
Me neither. It's not about you, Tommy. It's not about you, pal. Enjoy your beer, mate.
No,
thanks for watching, though, mate. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I don't think there's much else to touch on. Obviously, we'll wait till Sean comes back. Still want to wave goodbye, but I think we sort of touched on it. Any more transfer links you've seen that you fancy talking about, pal? Or?
Not really, mate. There's not been a lot. I say. I think the left back we're in for. Mooney's number 1 target. Diarra's number 1 target. A couple of backups. It's been a slow week. I think now it's going to slow down, and I think a lot of clubs are now going to sit back. Now the PSR deadline's about to pass. A lot of clubs will sit back and go again, and they'll think, suddenly a Forest going to come in for 40 million for Diarra because they've got the money all of a sudden because PSR deadline's passed. I think it'll kick off in a massive way because there's been hardly any deals in the Premier League up to now. Hardly.
Yeah, no, there aren't. So,
obviously, the club has done a World Championship. They're off doing whatever they want to do and need players for that. But other than that,
yeah, no, I agree. Sean, you want to add, mate, before we wrap up?
I just think Tuesday, 1st July. Now we're going to see signings. We're going to see outgoings, incomings. I think it's going to really ramp up now. Come next week. Obviously. First pre-season friendly isn't a couple of weeks away or whatever, 3 weeks away. So when are they back in pre-season? I see it's 7th somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's 7th, mate.
Yeah, so I can see obviously as really pushing on signings and obviously. Well, I don't need a statue. No, definitely a statue. Get him a statue. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Me too, mate. Do you want to touch on Creators Cup, mate, before we go? I'll let you have a quick run through with that, buddy.
Creators Cup, yeah, obviously, a lot of you will know about that. It's 20th of July at the John Charles Stadium. It'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff. Obviously, you want to see me kicking Matty up in the air. Get your tickets. Get your tickets.
Not gonna happen.
Or Matty kicking me up in the air.
Exactly.
Get your tickets bought. Obviously, Matty will put the link in the description, won't you, Matty?
Yeah, I'll whack it in after, mate. Yeah.
Get on over, get your tickets, come see us play, and it would be lovely to meet some of you. It really would.
Joe Wayman was waxing lyrical about me, mate. Joe Wayman said I was a baller. Did you see that, lads?
No.
Did you see that?
Can we end stream now? Turn it off. End stream now.
Joe Wayman said I was Lee Tomlin. Lee Tomlin.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's all in aid of prostate cancer, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's obviously you're gonna have a little bit of rivalry and that, but no, it's all for a good cause, and if it goes well, then this could be a yearly thing we do. So, right, obviously, let's say get on over, get your tickets bought. Come on, let's do it.
100%. Make sure you get over to Wilkowhites, Sean. Your channel's really ramped up these last. Well, this last 4 weeks, this last month, you're doing really well. It's doubled in size, really, in terms of subs, hasn't it, in the last month or so? So
yeah, it has. Yeah, it's
doing really
well. Getting a lot of views off some of the videos and stuff. It's really hard, and I know there's a lot of links out there, and we could just report on everything, couldn't you? But I think, like I said, these next couple of weeks now is where we can really start on like reporting news and things like that on proper solid, concrete, links. And hopefully Adam will keep dropping those nuggets in for me to report on, what you mate.
Clickbait, Sean, not Statman, Sean. It needs to be clickbait, Sean. I think if you do a video, hold on, what's his name? Simicast has agreed personal terms. Get that out. That'll do really well. That'll do 10,000 views. Come on, get your press ups done. Yeah. Come on.
Poor old Joe.
Only messing. Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, Jerry's at the Creators Cup.
Jersey, and you got Joe. Joe Blackburn sorted out all this organised out. So you've got all your big top content creators in there, and obviously there's the little ones like myself. So listen, no airs of graces. Get your send down there, guys, and just.
It's been get to it, but it's also been live streamed because the German authorities haven't been able to step in and thankfully.
Yeah, you can watch. Yeah, you can watch, can't you?
Yeah. Class. Well, anyways, yeah, so please go over and check out Sean at Wilkowhites. Please like and subscribe here if you've enjoyed this. Yeah, I don't know what next video will be because I don't like talking about no transfer news, but I'll be back on soon, I'm sure. Go on.
Should be next week because I think there's going to be a lot to talk about next week. I'm confident.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. Let's get into the thick of it, hopefully. But yeah, Adam, really nice to see you back.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to have you a little bit more present in the last week as well. It's been nice to see you exciting about speaking about Leeds again because I do understand it's been a bit of a crappy 5 or 6 weeks on it. But
we've got a lot of plans, haven't we, guys, for sure.
This one a very laid back chat, wasn't it? This a bit like ours a couple of weeks ago, Sean. We've got new little segments to come in. We're going to tweak it out a little bit, Adam. Have you got what else to say on the show going forward, buddy?
No.
Because you were rubbing an alley, weren't you? Whether we stick to
we got loads of ideas, lots of Premier League ideas. It's Premier League show. We try and make the best. We won't stop for a chat. We try and make the best show we can to entertain, have lots of nuggets and bits and pieces in there, and try and make it the most interactive and the best Leeds United show on YouTube. That's what we try and do. Whether we're achieving us, nothing else together. That's what we try and do.
Well, just like that poll that I set up and never clicked go on, a bit like that. We try and be interactive. We try as best to be interactive, yeah. But sometimes
we forgot about the poll, didn't we?
I forgot about the poll. I did, mate. 6'8" stood in corner looking at me. Go away. But yeah, I forgot about the poll too. But no, we've got loads of ideas, haven't we, guys? We'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
The chat's currently on 69, so we'll leave it at that. Right, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Take care, everybody. Thanks as always. Bye-bye.